Y'all listen. I know I said I was on vacation, but we gotta talk about this. Why are the Smex-Workers that were featured in the Diddy trial now doing advertisement on TMZ? I have low the world has lost their mind. We're in apparently SMMX work is legal, and everybody is doing what they can to advertise for new clients. I guess times is tough, since their favorite cut goose can't hire them anymore. Let's just get into this. I guess, get it how you live it. And TMZ is the best place to advertise. Now, can I just say this? If you guys don't know, a while back, we did a smash or pass Diddy Smex-Worker edition. And most of his workers struggled to get past a 6.5. I will say this, I do not know what the average male SMX worker looks like. I assumed wrongly that if a woman's paying for it, and it was wrong because Diddy was paying for it, I assumed that, you would get a genetic anomaly if a woman is paying for it because it's so thin. Diddy seems to have a very specific look that he likes his SMMX workers to look like. A certain height, a certain build, and a certain look. I would say I think somebody needs to go to Diddy's childhood and look at any of the men around him when he was a kid that look like these guys because they are not handsome. And I know some of them are I may not be handsome, but in the bed. And I was like, how embarrassing that you brag about that. Do you hear yourself? You're bragging that you are not enough for someone just to have coffee with. The lights have to be out and they have to be high off of perks. But I digress. My whole point of the matter is I get it. People saying, oh, he wasn't with them because of how their face look. But when you are paying, right? I assume you could find the genetic anomaly that is a tin in the face.
And no longer has a voice who will pursue justice for her accusation.
Let's get into how did Diddy
As of the
Smex
Aiken
workers
against
are
Diddy,
using TMZ
no expansion
to
of the
advertise.
investigation, no isolation orders, no equipment access, no suspension of attorney communication.
Diddy's criminal trial exposed the underbelly of the male SMMX industry in New York, Los Angeles, Miami, and beyond. Now, can we pause this right here? Because the underbelly of male SMX work, you don't like the underbelly of CDI, okay? And now some male escorts who were hired by Diddy say they're fearful and worried about how they operate moving forward. One Smex worker connected to a Diddy case tells TMZ there's a fear in the industry regarding what happened with Diddy at trial, and it's changing how he conducts business. What's the fear? What is the fear? Because what's the fear? Is the fear that it might not be consensual? Is the fear that when you see somebody high off of pills and high off of their mind, you shouldn't proceed? Is there a fear that if you are having Smex with someone and their boyfriend orders them to stop and then drags them by their hair to a different room and then beats them to a pulp and then makes them come back in the room with a black eye or clearly disheveled, what's the fear? What's the fear that you might be in trouble? That you might do something that you might want to cancel the job or not go to the next one? What's the fear? Let's go on. I bet you it's not going to be the fear we think it is. This guy tells us he's being extra cautious with new clients. And it's doing a heavier screening process to guard against Johns who are big mouths on social media, or those who might be more likely to out a smack worker online. That's what you're being more cautious about. Of course. Why did I think that anybody would listen to the testimonies and say, you know what? Maybe I won't sit by idly while someone's beaten. Maybe I won't have smacks with somebody with a black eye. Maybe. No, you know what I'll do? I'll just make sure that they're not gonna blast me on Insta so my granny doesn't hear about it. Diddy got busted on prostitution charges involving transporting Smex workers across state lines. And this male escort says he's being more discreet and careful about traveling for work. The guy says there has to be trust between the Smex worker and their client. And it sounds like that may be harder to establish in Diddy's in the post-Diddy trial world. Okay. He says that he's got one cold client, but that is not as freaky as his Diddy experience, telling us it's more of an orgy situation with the client's wife and other women. Cherie Hayes, who goes by the Punisher and was one of the witnesses in the trial, tells TMZ, escorts need to be more careful about how they arrange sexual encounters now. And there's a worry in the industry about text messages being used to incriminate them because of what happened in Diddy trial. Again, I find it so disgusting that the Punisher says SMMX workers are nervous and worried about leaving a paper trail because some conversations with potential clients get really flirty really fast for him. He says folks usually start asking about D sizes and suggested photos before they meet, which is a big no-no. He raised his profile. He says he raised his profile with the trial, making the media rounds and promoting his book In Search of Freezer Meat. And while he says he's getting more job offers now,
and no
he
longer
says
has
he's
a
scared to
voice who will
respond
pursue
because you never
justice
know
for
who's
her
on the other end
accusation.
of the line. The Punisher
As
says
of the
Diddy
Aiken
did
against
normalize
Diddy,
being a cuck
no
for a
expansion
lot
of
of
the
curious
investigation,
people. And it's a
no
fetish that is
isolation
rampant
orders,
now, but everyone's
no
got to be
equipment
more
access,
careful.
no
Okay, so
suspension of
you know
attorney
what?
communication.
First of all, Mr. Hayes, you're worried about your clients going to the media. So respectfully, you putting this no media ban on yourself because I keep seeing your face on TM. But also, can I just say it's absolutely deplorable and disgusting to me that even in these dark times again, the women, Cassie, no one, and the fact that it's still not clocking. It's not clocking to you. It's still not clocking to you. That we're standing on business. It's not clocking. The reason why all this came about wasn't because of some D pictures and wasn't because of this. It's because there were women that were beaten bloody. It's because there were women that had their faces broken open. It's because of the women that you saw get dragged to a room and beaten so bad you couldn't even get it up, and you seem to have lost sight of that. But then again, yeah, it is what it is. And anyway, here's to the escort that is doing advertising on TM. I hope in one day they figure out what the trial was about. I'm sure that they're probably being passed around all of Diddy's clients. Didn't Jane say they like shared contacts? It's a lifestyle. I don't know. Did he get referred to Kanye and Bianca? Anyway, y'all, again, the reason I bring this up is, all jokes aside, it is disgusting to me that even through all this, they still point Smex-Worker. It's just missing Jared Hayes. Anyway, shout out to your little media band and you being discreet. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.